When the well-respected character actor, whose name no one knew nor much cared to know, returned home for a funeral after 10 years of absence, not one person noticed, not even his mother, because of course, despite the fact that he'd honed his, quote, craft to such a degree that he, quote, disappeared in each of the roles that he played, he was never quite able to act like himself. The chameleon he'd been called in the Hollywood rags the few times they deigned to write about him, and the playbills in which his name would appear all called him a chimerical gem. Before the trip home, as always he did, he had researched the role, drudged up his old yearbooks, put on some old clothes, and practiced the accent he'd long since left off. But despite all of this, when he got on the plane, he suddenly felt that he needed more time, that he wasn't prepared, not at least for this role, the role of a mourner whose friend had just died. He'd have to wing it, he told himself, only half confident that his old improv skills would not let him down. His first order of business, after settling his things in his hotel downtown, was to pop in for a beer at the Rendezvous Lounge where he used to tend bar. He wanted to see what faces there were of the faces he'd known, the locals he'd served every night in the 90s whose gestures he'd used in more than one role. But even the owner, a man for whom he'd worked for 5 years, even he had had trouble in putting a name to this now famous face. Harry, he said, but of course this was wrong. The character actor, prey to his training, quickly assumed the role of a Harry, however. A man with a limp, who laughed and caroused, got depressed and then left. The limp wore off as he limped down the street to the local high school, where the yearly rendition of Pinter's Homecoming was being put on, the very same play in which he'd played Max when he was in school. The theater still reeked of damp mattress, a comforting detail that the character actor had long since forgotten, but now believed he might use in an upcoming role. At the end of the show, he approached his old teacher, a one Ms. Bouchard, alive and well after all of these years, his first acting coach, and the person to whom he felt most indebted for what was once called his wild success on stage and on screen. But Ms. Bouchard, a bit senile already, hard though she tried, was unable to say from what film she had known this man's face. Die Hard, she said, but Die Hard wasn't it. As a matter of fact, in the time since the visit, it's been widely suggested that the character actor never actually came home at all, and that any report contradicting this fact is little more than mere gossip.